we'll do it. And we've done it. And then they step up the madness. So not only now are we doing it, now there are high stakes attached to it. You can lose your job. And since it's all about the bottom line now, anybody with gray hair, we're going after you. Because clearly, you're no good. Because experience doesn't matter, because Eric Hanishek said so. An economist? Really? That's who's making education policy now. Raj Chetty with his BAM stuff. Oh, I remember they started out with the classroom would lose $200,000 over a year, blah, blah. Then you actually do the math on that, and it's like $30 per kid, right? And they made this big story out of it. 90% of educational policy right now is PR spin. Then we're finding out there's virtually no peer-reviewed reproducibility of results that we expect. I taught chemistry for 22 years. I mean, reproducibility of results is something that I stress. Not so in the education research world. But that has got to stop. That has got to change. Has become so politicized now, we do have to take much more political stand. We do have to say there's something wrong with what's going on. If we don't change the political landscape, we are going to be steamrolled. And I am telling you, all of you have put your bodies in the way of those steamrollers. There are three things that I would actually like to leave with you from Chicago. The strike, which I never believed was going to happen, for real. I just assumed they were going to settle because they didn't want the strike so much. They kept saying they didn't want the strike. They changed the law to ensure we could not strike. And then they went and bragged about it. If you have not seen Jonah Edelman at the Aspen Ideas Festival, bragging about how they fooled me into accepting a deal that would leave us with the inability to strike because the Chicago Teachers Union could never get 75% of its members to agree to go out on strike. And he laughed. We're done with them. We can do whatever we want now because they have no ability to fight back. That is interesting to me, that the notion that in order for them to do something, they have to rig the system. If you have to rig the system to get what you want through, it must not be that good. Very wealthy man in Chicago who, for some reason, was sitting in at a Board of Education meeting of teacher evaluation. This is all pre-strike. And these were all professors from Harvard who, you know, pretty good school. And they were talking about the importance of teacher buy-in to any kind of evaluation system. Teachers have to feel that it's fair, that it's reasonable, blah, blah. He stood up and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. You take something off the shelf and you ram it down their throats. But this is another wealthy guy who has rigged the financial system. You all read Flash Boys or heard about it, right? You know about that? If you haven't read it, read it. Ooh. to let you know that the little guy investor, again, the system's rigged against him. And this is one of the guys that rigged the system. So this is what you're dealing with now. We're not dealing with people that have educational background or educational policy. We're dealing with ideologues who see us as temporary workforce, because if we were really that smart, we would do something else. That's the way they view us. In addition, these are people who also have very meaningless jobs. I'm serious. Making a lot of money, rigging systems, winner take all kind of stuff. That's kind of meaningless, really. We have jobs that are meaningful. We get to educate the next generation? Are you kidding me? That's awesome! And people are jealous of that. They're like, you get to make a difference in a child's life, and you want to be paid, and you want good working conditions, and you want a pension? What's the matter with you? Think about it. Those of us with meaningful, caring jobs, people think we should do it for free. It also does not hurt that, at least in the United States, 87% of us are women. So we have issues of gender, we have issues of class, we have issues of race, we have all these issues that come together that people don't really want to talk about. They're just going to talk about the bottom line. And we don't have any money. But then they tell us things that make no sense, and we're supposed to just go for the okie doke. Class size doesn't matter. But where you send your children to, market low class size ratios, don't they? Yes. Okay, I didn't know if it was different here. But we're not supposed to make sense of that. So what's good for your child isn't good for these children. We have to give them choice. Choice in the market. So we're going to turn a public good into a consumerist nightmare.